Well, we all find ourselves sometimes in those habits. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, but we're here to talk about how to deal with them and consistency in life. So we have Missy O here with us this morning, and I know that it can be good, bad. So where do you want to start with today?
Well, I think it's interesting to take a look at habits in general, how they start, where they start, when they start. Sometimes we start with habits, we don't even realize we're doing them. But if you look at our lives, we have to have, it's good to have, I should say, habits, because when we wake up in the morning, what toothpaste do we use, what cereal do we eat, what do we do in our habits that consist in our day? Because if we had to think about every single thing we did, we wouldn't get much done. So having those habits to get us going is a good thing. But sometimes we need to take a look at if those habits are working for us. They used to work for us, but maybe they don't today. And so taking a look at where we're at and where we want to go.
Yeah, and I feel like that consistency really kind of helps you. As you said, you don't have to then stand there and think, okay, what am I doing next? And just like this morning, if you get thrown off your normal habits and your consistency, it kind of throws you off as a person.
Well, and I tell people, when you're looking at your life and things aren't going the way you want them to go, take a look at every 3-4 months, take a look at where you're at and where you want to go. And sometimes things that worked for us, like I said before, things that worked for us years ago don't work for us anymore. And so we need to take a look at where we want to go. And sometimes it's not easy for us to do it for ourselves. Sometimes we need someone that's going to help us, a coach or a mentor that can help us along.
And that's where you kind of help step in too.
Right, and you know, if we take a look at some of the things I talk to people about is what they want to do, where they want to go, how they think that they can get there, what's worked for them in the past, and what will work for them in the future. And so some of those things that need to go sometimes, if you take a look at a child and why they do what they do, sometimes some of the negative habits or behaviors we have is, I think of children of biting their nails. They have those habits because it helps them with frustration, or if they're nervous or anxious. But then as an adult, we don't want to do that anymore. We don't want to chew our nails, but sometimes that's a habit that's a hard thing for people to break. So if we take a look at why we're doing that, other people it's smoking, and some people it's avoiding things like getting on Facebook and being on Facebook too much. And so those habits can come, and we need to stop them before they get to be too much. But then there's sometimes the things that are consistent in our life that we want to keep there, that we want to keep going because they help us go in the right direction.
Well, and I feel like that's especially true for children too. You want to have that consistency in those habits so they know, okay, here's our bedtime routine, so they know how to fall asleep right.
Well, it's our behaviors and our decisions, right? Our behaviors of what we're going to do and the decisions we make in the end lead us to where we want to go. So assessing where you want to be, what's working for you, what isn't, and if you decide that you have a certain few things, like say 5 things that you want to make sure you're working towards, or even 3 things you want to work towards, how are you going to get there? And who is going to help you? It's so important to know who is going to help you, because sometimes if you haven't done something before, you don't have no idea which direction to go. So knowing who can help you, having a mentor or a coach is a huge thing.
Okay, we'll continue talking about this after a quick break.